The single biggest thing that's going on in business that people need to pay attention to is digital transformation of the core. One of the critical ways to deal with it is to design a strategy that works.
The impact from following the 5 acts is pretty profound. We did a study with over 4,000 respondents, and we saw that companies that were following the 5 acts were actually more than 3 times likely to grow faster than their industry average and more than 2.5 times likely to be more profitable than their industry average.
The critical few concept came up after 50 years of research. So we said, okay, let's take a critical few behaviors that would make the most difference in what we're trying to evolve in the culture. That happens very quickly.
What I've seen over and over again is that company cultures that anchor to people's strengths find themselves with totally engaged employees.
I think to improve culture, it really starts at the top. Setting expectations, being very clear, being engaged, walking the talk. Words matter, but actions matter more.
You can have a fantastic strategy badly executed and the strategy is worthless.
There's a universal hunger for meaning that purpose-driven companies really tap into, rather than this idea that I go to work for the bottom line and then I go do something meaningful over here. When you marry those two, you can unlock human potential in a really powerful way.
Neuroscience tells us that it's much easier to change actions than it is to change mindsets. And so by changing a behavior, you will help evolve the culture, but you will get results much sooner.
If your internal processes are barriers to your own idea development, how can you take those ideas, put it outside the boundaries of the company and let them go as fast as they can? And one of those strategies is by bringing in the talent as well as the mindset that the startups have to really get that speed going very, very fast.
The corporations that are in tune with the developments in the market don't see startups as competitive. They see this as an operation to collaborate. And the companies that don't move quickly in that space, that's when collaboration turns into competition. That's when disruption happens.
It's about accessing those innovations, those startups, those entrepreneurs across the world, and leveraging them and their opportunity to make your corporation that much stronger.
Companies are fearful that if they were honest about what they expected or wanted out of the startup, and if startups were honest about what they expected or thought was going to happen out of the relationship, that both parties would part ways. Communication is vital, and I think that transparency is the backbone of having an honest conversation.
The role of leadership at the end of the day is to help create an environment where purpose can thrive, where the identity of the organization come to life. And when we go after and try to attract, retain, and develop the very best talent, it's about having an organization that's purposeful, that inspires the best in our people. That's what makes strategy work.